Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, telling leftoids I told you so since 2019. Well, leftoids, we told you so. You should have been listening. Once again, you should have been listening. Not everything that challenges your worldview is right-wing MAGA fascism. Sometimes maybe take a little bit of advice, you know? We told them that supporting censorship in any form, sure, it might be benefiting them currently, but eventually, it's gonna backfire. When the culture shifts and you're no longer the dominant popular mainstream culture, you'll become the suppressed one. And now, all of a sudden, leftoids are concerned about internet censorship, specifically on Instagram, on Meta, now that their unpopular opinions are being banned and censored. Well, we tried to warn you. Massive leftist grifter Sean King supposedly just had his 5+ million follower Instagram account banned off the platform over his views on the Israel/Palestine conflict. And let's just say he's not so happy about it. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. Sean King banned on Instagram.
Meta, Facebook, Instagram, I think made a really horrible decision. And their decision, I don't mean their decision in banning me. Their decision was that they would do anything they could to protect Israel at all costs. Because they are saying that they are banning me because I support dangerous organizations. And for you to say that you're going to hold me accountable for congratulating the one group that had the courage, the tenacity, the strength, the determination to actually say, we will do all we can to stop this. That Meta, that Instagram, that Facebook, that Mark Zuckerberg and others, that you all determined in all of this that supporting Yemen was the dangerous decision. Facebook, Meta, Instagram, you are the dangerous organization. You are a supporter of genocide. Not just because of what you're doing to me, it's way bigger than me. I think it's wrong for any of us to not say what needs to be said, to not post what needs to be posted. Also, we can keep our accounts. What I would like to have my account, not because I even respect this company, but because I'm in daily communication with men and women on the ground in Gaza, in the West Bank, who I've grown to love, who I send voice notes encouraging them, who I pray with, pray for. But I'm not going to sell my soul to be on Mark Zuckerberg or anybody else's good side. I refuse to do it, and you should refuse to do it. Please, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, do not hold your tongue about what you're seeing and about what our sisters and brothers in Gaza and the West Bank are experiencing right now. Don't stop. Don't stop posting. Do not be afraid, not of them, not of Israel, not of the United States. Fear not of them or of any power.
It's just hard for me to feel bad for him. You know, I don't want Sean King censored. As much as I disagree with him, as much as I don't like him, as much as I think that he's a dishonest, frankly, con man, I believe in his right to free speech. I believe that he has the right to exist on these platforms, even if he's saying dumb shit about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Unless he is directly calling for violence, unless he is directly organizing and inciting violence, he should be able to exist and say and pretty much do as he pleases within a very specified limitation. And even if he goes supposedly too far, there should probably be some sort of legal process for holding somebody accountable and shutting their voice online. That's my view, so I understand the sentiment. It's just a little rich coming from all the same people who actively campaigned and worked to get Donald Trump banned, or the same people who celebrated censorship when it was happening to their perceived political opponents. I mean, this is an actual article written by Sean King. I'm for free speech, and banning of Trump and white supremacists across social media. Here's why. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want it all. But obviously what happens when you're greedy? Eventually, your hand gets caught in the pot. And I mean, leftoids are the most political greedy. They tried to take this whole censorship regime to a whole other level. I mean, they empowered the censorship regime. Over the last decade, working with advertisers to pressure social media companies, every social media company over the last 10 years seemingly has spent hundreds of millions of dollars building trust and safety departments, mass censorship brigades that are colluding with the CIA and the FBI behind the scenes to control speech online. We've seen the Twitter files. That's what leftoids created through their activism, through their pressure campaign, through their attempting to ban Donald Trump, to censor Donald Trump, and of course Alex Jones and others. Now they're confused and shocked that the departments that they helped create and build are now being used to censor them and their controversial opinions. Yeah, no wonder. Money talks. You know, these cultural Marxists haven't realized that they're not exactly the most powerful people on the planet. They created these sort of entities of information control and power, but eventually they're going to lose control of it. The world government powers obviously have the resources and capabilities and connections to take over those little entities of power quite easily, and that's exactly what we've already seen. I mean, that's really the story of 2021 in a nutshell, at least in terms of internet censorship. Federal agencies and globalist organizations completely took over the censorship departments at massive social media companies. Well, Israel happens to be one of those very powerful global players. When they're not happy and when their allies aren't happy with what you leftoids are talking about or whatever stances you guys are taking on the conflict, well, what is the Israel lobby going to do? They're going to take control of that censorship power that you created and use it to censor you. And then all of a sudden you cease to exist. Now leftoids might be a little bit sympathetic to how conservatives were feeling throughout most of the pandemic. Although, of course, feeling that would require a basic level of introspection and critical thought and self-awareness. Not exactly the left's strong suit, but I'm hoping at some point there's going to be a basic moment of realization here. I mean, it just has to be possible. It has to come back. The left used to be the party of free speech and even pushing the boundaries of speech. So hopefully at some point they realize and they backtrack and maybe we could find some common ground. You know, at the end of the day, what a lot of people say is true. Left and right, we're not enemies. In a way, that's what the puppet masters want you to believe. That's how they get one side to support censoring the other and taking rights away from the other, which allows them to create a power structure that enables a full-on takeover. Freedom of speech has to be a place where right and left can find some basic common ground. You know, I just dream of a world where we never see a leftist mob yelling at advertisers to cancel a right-wing commentator for saying something, or we never see a right-wing mob yelling at advertisers in an effort of pulling away from any leftist commentator. I dream of a world where there's a left and right mob together yelling at advertisers and social media companies, demonetizing and deplatforming anyone from any side. That's the outrage. You know, somebody else having a different opinion that offends you, that's not an outrage. What's outrageous is a few select corporations and social media companies telling us what we are and aren't allowed to say or are and aren't allowed to discuss. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.